Hey everybody, it's Angela Molson352 and I'm back with another process video, and this is one of a parade that my husband took a truck in, and I have some pictures here that I've just cropped because there was a lot of extra superfluous scenes and stuff in them, so I just cropped them down, and I'm going to mat them on this dark blue paper. And this parade that we were in was from last year, and since the 4th of July is coming up again, I thought I'd better get these scrapbooked before the next parade. So I'm using a piece of Ellie Studio paper, that one that says Cherish, for my background piece, and I don't really want the Cherish on there, so I'm going to just position my photos so that they will cover that up, but I do like the little stars and the little red lines there on the corner. So I'm just trying to decide where I'm going to place it. And so I decide to just put it there and then put some embellishments above and below my photos and kind of cover that up. So I just secure that on there. And then I go and get my boxes of die cuts, and I'm going to decide which ones to use. And I pull out several boxes, and this first one, there's not much except that one there on top that has a little bit of the dark blue and some red. The Heidi swaps don't really have anything, so I set those aside, as well as these Dear Lizzie that were the wrong color. The Maggie Holmes has some dark blue and red, and this pink paisley had, I think I took out like 2 things out of there that had some red. So I sped this up really fast because it's kind of boring just watching me go through and, you know, pick stuff out. But essentially I was just looking for the colors and things that kind of spoke about, you know, festivals and parades and fairs and things like that. So I pull out stuff from that, and then I just put what I think I'm going to use in the lid and set it there. That way if I don't use it, I can just put it back in the container and it won't get mixed around into the wrong bin. So I just go through that one as well. Save out a couple items, put them in the lid. And then I also have a few October Afternoon, the miscellany packs. And there's the Midway, which has a lot of, like, you know, Ferris wheels and popcorn and stuff like that. And so I pulled out a couple things from that. And then I also looked at, I have the birthday one as well. But I don't think I even pulled anything. Yeah, there, I looked at it and I'm like, nah, I think I've got enough anyhow. So I decided to work with that. And the mat was just small, and I wanted it to have a little more presence, so I just cut 2 strips of this kind of red pattern paper and to kind of insert above and below, and that just gives it a little more weight. And then I can start putting these different die cuts, and there's just a lot of fiddling now that goes on because I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of going to play around with it until it's something that I like. And this layout isn't like my favorite, and you know, they all can't be your favorite, but I don't know, I think I put too much stuff, or I introduced the yellow and I think I should have left the yellow out, you know, but hindsight's 20/20. So but it turned out just fine. And I guess I'm feeling like some of my layouts, they're starting to kind of look the same lately. So I think maybe the next few layouts I do, I'm going to use some like watercolor or gelatos, or maybe a sketch, something just to kind of get me out of a rut and, you know, get me inspired to make a few changes and stuff like that. So again, here I'm still just playing around with the die cuts, and the parade was down in Southern Oregon, and we have a big army truck that we use on the farm, and it has like a dump truck bed in the back. So we took it in the parade and, you know, threw candy and stuff like that. to the kids. And this is a really, really small town, so it was a lot of fun. The picture on the far left is a lady who walked her sheep in the parade, and she's just trying to get the sheep to jump up into the back of her minivan. And it was a really nice sheep. And then after the parade, we had some snow cones, and I met the princesses for the Douglas County and Umpqua County princesses were there. And so we just had a lot of fun. It was really sunny and hot, and my husband met old friends, and so it was just a good day. And I have actually a piece of ephemera from it that it didn't work out that I could put it, it's a flyer, to put it on this layout, but I'll probably put it in my smash book. So there I pulled out a flare badge that says Happy Day, and I just put it over I think it said first place on that award ribbon, because we didn't actually win a ribbon or anything in this particular parade. So I just covered that up with a Happy Day. I have a few ticket stubs. I have that round piece that's like the lid to those little containers of ice cream, you know, the ones that come with a little wooden spatula spoon thing. And so I thought that was cute and wanted to use it on here as well. And so I decided to commit on the red mat and these tickets up here. And I have a couple that are just different tickets, because there were a lot of different raffles and games and things where people were buying tickets. And I wanted to use that Oh So Lovely piece there by the princesses, but I don't think I wound up using that or that second red badge. But I put that ice cream label there. It just kind of goes over some of that unimportant space in that snow cone photo. And now I go ahead and mat the bottom red strip. And I went back and forth as to whether to use that ice cold drink guy, and I thought, where else am I going to use that? This is a perfect place. So I go ahead and put that down. And I kind of wish I had left it right here like that, maybe with that red ticket or something up there like that. But I go ahead and I introduce here in a minute the yellow, and I guess that's what I'm not really liking, is this right here. I thought at first it needed that extra bit of color, so I wanted to go ahead and put that on. But then when I had it up there, it was looking almost a little too heavy. I needed to add another piece of yellow, so that inspires me to go back and pull out another yellow item from that die cut collection. And I think it just becomes too much for me. So here I'm inking the edges of these two items. Again, that's another thing I wish I would have done. I wish I would have inked the edges on everything, but I didn't. So I went ahead and placed that up on foam dots up there. And then I want to work on this cluster a little more down at the bottom. I want it to be a little heavier cluster. And I want to put the ribbon on there, but I don't want to cover up the sheep or too much of the parade goers there. So I decide to move my little ice cold over so you can see a little more of him. I go ahead and stick that down, and then the lemonade 50 cents is up on pop dots as well. It just kind of balances that yellow ticket. And then here's where I'm thinking about, maybe needing a little bit more of that bright yellow down lower. So I go back to my box and look through, because I remember there was like a clear doily. So I found that yellow piece and I don't remember, something says something like "You Are My Sunshine" or whatever. And I thought, well, I can just hide most of it or cover up the wording, and then it just doesn't really work for me. So I decided to just use this little yellow doily instead. And, it looks fine and everything. I just, in retrospect, kind of wish I would have left it just kind of the red, white, and blue, a little more monochromatic or subtle. than those pops of yellow. But otherwise, I like the composition of it, and I go and I get some thickers, and I've been wanting, these have been on my desk for a while, I've been wanting to use them. And so I go ahead and spell out Sawdust Jubilee, which is what the parade and festival is called. And I debated whether to put the title at the bottom, but then I thought it might be a little bit too much because I wanted to put my wording down there. So I went ahead and split the title up and put Sawdust at the top and Jubilee down below. I didn't really want to put it on that red mat because I thought it wouldn't be as readable, so I set it above the red mat on the top, and then I put it below the red mat on the bottom. So it's a little disjointed, but because those are the, you know, main words on there, you know, it's understandable. So I put Jubilee down there, and then I'm just going to do my journaling below that. And what's nice about having a graph paper background is that it's really easy to write on there. And so I decided to do, you know, as much journaling. I'm trying to put a little bit more journaling on my layout, so I went ahead and sped this up faster, I thought, but it still seems pretty slow. So anyhow, I go ahead and I do my journaling here, and then I pretty much call it done. So it was a pretty fast layout, and although, like I said, it's not my favorite, it's still a fun, happy layout. I think it, you know, shows a lot about our day and the fun that we had. And oh, and then I go and I decide to stamp the date on there. So I'm looking through my date stamps for one that has a phrase that I like to, and I think I pick one that says like big day or big event, something like that. And I just use my black ink and I do a test of it. I always try to test it first because when you're doing it kind of backwards, sometimes I get the date messed up. And so I do a little test of it, and I'm going to put it just down below my journaling. And I just used a black Sharpie for my journaling. And I think that's it. So there you go. There is my finished layout. And like I said, it may not be my most favorite, but then not every layout can be. So if you have any questions or comments or anything, please just leave them below. And I think I'm going to do a few close-ups here, I think. Yeah, so there you can see kind of the bottom stripes on that bottom left-hand corner. Yep, and here's the close-ups. And I'm really looking forward to going to the Sawdust Jubilee again this summer. Hopefully we'll be able to do the 4th of July parade or a one around that time. We'll probably do several parades. And there you go. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next layout video. Talk to you later. Bye.